It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you, and welcome to the Science Bowl. Here we are after 35 years, still asking wonderful questions of equally wonderful students here. And we ask you to play along and see if you can keep up with these wonderful young people here. Today is the start of our first elementary age. Yes, we've finished with the middle schools. We have a champion, Robert Goddard Montessori. And now we have 32 elementary schools vying here on the Science Bowl. The first 2 are playing today. Today we are going to be introducing you to students from Calverton and from Templeton elementary schools. You've noticed the things are a little different. All of our students are at home where they're safe. I'm here in the TV studio. You can see the familiar board behind me here. And we've changed things up a little bit. No buzzers out there, but something that has not changed. We have the same 6 categories we've always had. And these are they.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's science potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
All right, we start our teams out with 50 points. They can only go up or down. There are no penalties for incorrect answers here. And we have 18 questions, 9. We'll take a break. We'll bring back our students, talk to them a little bit, ask their final 9. And after both teams get a total of 18 questions, the team that is ahead will come back to play again for the chance to move on to the playoffs. So now let's meet the team from Calverton Elementary School. Would you please say hello to Kayla? Kayla, wave to everybody if you would. And Caitlin. Hi, Caitlin. Caitlin is our captain. And Christopher. Christopher, nice to have you on the show as well. All right. They're all 4th graders, I believe. And we've got some questions for you. So if you're ready, Calverton, let's begin. Here are your first questions in the category green things. Green things for 5 points. In Alice in Wonderland, the Mad Hatter threw a party where he served this caffeinated beverage.
Coffee. Kayla, I think it's coffee.
Coffee for...
Yeah, I'm going with coffee.
Okay. Well, maybe they like coffee, but the Mad Hatter threw a tea party. A tea party was the caffeinated beverage there. Let's try this next one. Let's try the next one. While leaves have no bones, they do have a structure down the center with the same name as these human bones that form what we call a cage.
Isn't there like a...
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. While leaves have no actual bones, there are no bones in leaves. They do have a structure down the center of the leaf that has the same name as these human bones that form a cage in us.
Ribs.
Yeah.
I think it's ribs because it holds the lungs because it's a cage.
It's like a cage.
Rib.
Y'all in agreement. That's absolutely right. You got yourselves 15 points. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Yes, indeed. Christopher's excited. Kayla is smiling. Caitlin is there. She said, oh, it's tough being a captain. This is hard work here. All right, it is a rib cage. Let's do your 25-point question in green things. The word photosynthesis is something we use oftentimes in our green things category. The photo in photosynthesis means light. The synthesis part of that word means the plant making this sweet substance.
Kayla, it's glucose.
It's glucose.
Yeah, it's glucose.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
The same sugar the human body makes. It's glucose.
Glucose.
Christopher he was right on it. He was confident. It is indeed glucose, the synthesis part. Got yourself 25 points. You did really well in that green things category, kids. All right. Christopher, he's like, yeah, man, we're the best.
It's
All right,
just that I'm a bit nervous.
No, I hope you're not nervous because you guys look like you're really comfortable. Here is the zoo parade category. Zoo for 5 points. If a human being like you or me gets stressed, sometimes we can form a kidney stone. I've had too many of them. But if you irritate one of these bivalves, you just might get a pearl. What creature forms pearls?
Clams, Kayla.
Yeah, clams form pearls inside, so it's clams.
All right, you came so close. It's an oyster. An oyster forms pearls. Clams, they wish they did. You know, all they do is have a little sand inside. It was a nice try. Try the 15-point question in Zoo Parade. Most, but not all fish are very hydrodynamic. Think about what that might mean. They're very hydrodynamic in order to reduce what force as they swim?
I know the word is like they are straight, so all the water goes out inside of them. But if they're like wide, they will get pushed back. So.
Those are called currents, but some fish use currents to move around.
So, but it says force, so I think
drag. I think it's drag.
Kayla's, she's talking a good game there. She's trying to come up with the force that they want to reduce while they're swimming to make it easier.
Yeah, but because if they're like pushing, if they have like wide, the water is gonna be like stopping them from swimming forward.
I think the force is called drag. The same thing that affects an airplane.
That's exactly right. Drag, resistance, friction. So Kayla, you started the ball rolling there. Nice work. All right, you got yourself 15 points. 25 points in Zoo Parade. If you have a cat, you know that cats mostly like to stay by themselves. They are notoriously loners. But there is one cat that is gregarious, that famously lives in groups called prides.
Kayla.
Lions?
No, he said cats. Those are felines. I think they are like cats that live down with no owners. I forgot the name, but where does it live?
I feel like I feel like it's a wild cat, like a lion or
African wild.
Possibly.
Caitlin, you've been listening? Give me your answer.
Well, I don't know any type of cat since I don't own a cat, but I don't know the name of it. But I forgot the name of the cat.
Okay, you should have gone with your teammate Kayla because she said lion. The lions live in prides. If you remember the Lion King, Pride Rock, where they held up Simba. Remember? Lions live. They're the only cats that live in groups. All the other cats are by themselves. I have 3 more questions for you. Let's go to the body systems. You're doing good. Well, we human beings, if we cut ourselves and we want to disinfect our cuts, we put on Neosporin or Bactine. But we can also, like animals do, we can lick our wounds because there are antibodies in our what?
Spit?
Saliva.
Yeah, saliva, spit.
Saliva is the right answer. Good, 5 points. 15 points in body systems. If you're BFFs with someone, best friends forever, you might say that you're joined at this bone, sometimes called the pelvis.
May you repeat the question?
Yeah.
If you are best friends with someone, BFFs, you might say you're joined at this bone, sometimes called the pelvis.
Sometimes called the
pelvis. So it's a bone in us.
You're thinking. Come on, Captain. I don't hear much from you. Tell me what you're thinking.
I think it's the hand joints or hand joints.
Called the hip bone, joined at the hip. There was a movie, I think Matt Damon and someone else, they were joined at the hip. Let me give you your last question in this first round, the last of your first 9 questions. Body systems for 25. Breathing, which you're doing right now, involves inspiration and expiration of air. But there are 2 other words that describe the process that sound very similar. Instead of inspiration and expiration, what is it that describes air going in and going out?
Inhale and exhale.
Inhale and exhale. Thank you, Kayla. That is wonderful, and that gets you 25 points. Terrific. Wow, with that answer, that means you now have 135 points. What a first round you had. Nice work, Calverton. It is now time to meet the team from Templeton Elementary School. And would you please say hello to Simon? Simon, would you wave to everybody, please? He's our captain. Ugoma, wave to everybody if you would, please. She is a 5th grader. Simon's a 4th grader, and our other 5th grader is David. David, say hi to the audience. Nice to have you guys here. All right, it is now time for your first 9 questions. Let's get started with your green things category. And a 5-point question, a 15 and a 25. Here is the 5-point question in green things. Cranberries. You know cranberry sauce at Thanksgiving? Cranberries, a favorite at the holidays, are grown in these mushy B-initialed green areas.
I think it's a bush. Isn't it a bush? Because it's an area.
Yeah, because like B initial, like probably there's no.
Yeah, it's a bush.
I know that cranberries are like gathered on a lake, but I think bush. Yeah.
Probably bush.
So Simon, the correct your answer is what?
Yeah, we're going with bush.
Spell it for me. I can't because your audio is not so good.
Okay, B-U-S-H.
Oh, a bush, a cranberry bush. You know, most berries do grow in bushes, but you know, if you've seen those commercials, they're out there with boots up to their hips and they're wading through, that's called a bog, B-O-G, a cranberry bog. Good try. Get this next one. For 15 points in green things. Recently, there was yet again a consumer alert, a recall of the romaine variety of this green thing because scientists detected E. coli bacteria on it. Romaine what was recalled again? They told us don't eat it because it had E. coli bacteria.
So, like, what do you guys think about this? Because I'm kind of clueless.
I think it's probably like wipes or something, or actually paper towel, because I know that paper comes from trees, and like what if it didn't get, I think it got like bacteria when they were making it, so I think it's paper towel.
Okay.
Oh,
That makes
the
sense.
number?
Yeah.
So Simon, what are you saying?
So I guess we're going with like paper or like paper towels.
A paper towel. They sometimes, they might recall paper towels, but romaine is a kind of lettuce. You know, a lot of times they tell you don't eat this lettuce. Romaine lettuce was the green thing there. Try this next one. And I'm going to have to ask you when you answer, like Simon, you just did, kind of lean in, get close to your microphone, because otherwise it's very difficult. And we want people, I want to hear you, and the people at home want to hear you too. All right? All right, here we go. Green things for 25 points. Big words, simple answer. When the abscission layer dries out in the fall, this once green thing's petiole breaks off, and then this happens.
Okay, so like I think it might be like a tree branch because like, well no, it's like.
I know
like,
what he said. He said leaf. I mean, that's my answer. I think leaf, but he said like in the season fall. So don't leaves fall off from the trees, and weren't they once green at a time?
Yeah.
You got it. The abscission layer is at the bottom of that little stem called the petiole, and in the fall, when it dries out, the leaves jump. That's the one time they fall, and they come down to the ground. It's a one-way trip. Got yourself 25 points. Nicely done. Let's go to the zoo parade. Yeah, all right. Simon says yes. Ugoma says yes. That's what we wanted. The big question, 25er. Here's zoo for 5. There's a saying in the Bible that says it is easier for one of these mammals, called the ship of the desert, to get through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to get into heaven. What animal, sometimes called the ship of the desert, can't get through the eye of a needle, but would have an easier time of it than a rich man trying to get into heaven?
Camel. Probably a camel.
It is a camel. Yes, indeed. Good answer. All right. Let's go to the 15-point question in the zoo. Big words, simple answer. There's a terrible disease out west that's affecting animals called elk. They're a kind of deer. It's called wasting disease. Gets in their brain. They start losing weight. They just start walking in circles. It's fatal. It's terrible. It's very similar to another disease called bovine encephalopathy, which years ago was nicknamed mad what disease? Bovine. A bovine is what kind of farm animal? And this disease afflicted this kind of farm animal, much as the wasting disease afflicts elk.
Okay, so bovine was like the big clue right there. So there are a lot of farm animals on like a farm. So which animal do you think could be like the most vulnerable to this?
Is it a cow? Because it's a farm animal, and cow sounds at least correct. And it seems
Ugoma. Cow it is. Bovine encephalopathy. You got it. Next, for 25 points in the zoo. This is a visual question. We're going to bring up a picture for you to look at. Ooh, that's a shark, a baby shark up top there, one of the ones that hatched earlier, and the ones below are embryos that are still developing. Here's your question. Sharks are predators even before they're born, with the first developing embryos breaking out and eating their womb mates. This practice of eating your own kind is called this.
Cannibalism?
Yeah.
Cannibalism.
It is cannibalism. 25 points are yours. That's the way to do it. David and Simon and Ugoma. All right, 3 more questions for you. Let's go to the body. Body assistance for 5 points. If you're arguing about something, like on Science Bowl, you're arguing, it's this, it's that. But it's about something insignificant. The saying goes that you're trying to split these body parts that, come to think of it, can also have split ends.
What do you guys think? Like, I'm kind of.
Can't hair have split ends?
Yeah, I think
it's body part.
Yes, indeed. Hairs have split ends. Ugoma, she knows that. And yes, if you split hairs, that's why it's something insignificant. It's like, don't worry about it. You know, it just doesn't mean that much. Nicely done. All right. Now let's go to the body systems for 5 points. You got 3 more questions before you get your first break. You guys are doing great. This is the 15-point question in body systems. The incus bone, I-N-C-U-S, the incus bone, one of the 3 smallest in your body, is better known in English by what it resembles, the solid piece of iron used by blacksmiths. The incus is a tiny bone in your ear, and it is so named because it resembles what solid piece of iron used by blacksmiths. This takes us back to colonial America.
So like
iron.
Yeah.
What iron?
So like this one.
Like, I think it's like one of the tools they use to make what that blacksmith used, you know, like the hammer they use, or probably an anvil.
Say it again for me. Say it again for me, David.
Anvil?
It is anvil, absolutely right, that they use for making horseshoes. You're on a roll. All right, here's your last question in the first round. 25 points in body systems. People whose hearts aren't beating properly can have one of these P-initialed electrical devices implanted to do the job of the heart's natural one. What is this P-initialed electrical device that helps the heart to beat properly? What's it called?
It's P initial.
And your body has a natural one, but sometimes it doesn't work. That's why you need to get an implant.
So it's probably like, you guys got any answers? Because I don't really know it.
I think maybe a phone, because I know that it starts with a P, but I'm not sure if it's phone though.
Correct answer here, nice try guys, is a pacemaker. A pacemaker. Yes, Goma, I think she got it to last second after I started. It is a pacemaker. Still, a very nice round for you. You're all smiles as you should be. You have 140 points. All right, we'll see you in the second half. And we welcome the team from Calverton back as we head into round 2. 9 more questions for them from the final 3 categories. Let's get physical, science potpourri, and Dateline science. But before we do, let's find out about these outstanding young people here. And I already apologized to Kayla, because she said, Mr. Z, you haven't been calling me the captain the whole time. And she's been up there. She's been doing so much work. So my apologies to you, Kayla. Kayla, tell us a little bit about yourself and your school.
A little bit about myself is I like doing science, because I always do all these things in my house, and I like it a lot. There's science things, and I'm very happy to be on the show.
Wow, and we're so happy to have you here. And you're doing all the sorts of things that would set you up for a career in science. Even if you don't get into science, something tells me you're going to have the discipline and the smarts to do whatever you want. And I like how coordinated you are there today. Your sweater and your headset, they all match. Keep up your good work in the second half. Let's go talk to your teammates here. Let's go to Christopher. Christopher, nice to have you with us today, young man. And you're a 4th grader. You seem to know an awful lot about science. How do you know so much science?
Well, I know a bunch about science because ever since the day that I knew that I was going to be in here, I started studying every single day, sometimes even sneakily at night.
Wow. So you've been primed for this. You couldn't wait for this to happen. We're so happy that you're here today. We're on air. Even though we're not in the studio, we're still playing Science Bowl. What do you want to do someday, Chris?
What do you mean?
Like as a profession, as a job. Have you thought about that? I know you're only in the 4th grade.
Yeah, I'd like to be a teacher for a living.
Wow. You'd be a good teacher because I like how enthused you are, and you need to be enthused about learning to be a great teacher. Thanks, Chris. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go to Caitlin. And Caitlin, tell us your story. Tell me why you wanted to be on this show.
I wanted to be on this show because I want to test what I've learned in science and what I am currently learning on right now.
Absolutely. And you're doing a fine job here today. And what's it like being at home and going to school every day on a laptop like this? Is it working out for you?
Yeah, it's working out for me well.
That's great. Well, you're demonstrating that here today, that you've obviously mastered it, and we're thankful that you're with us. All right. If you guys are ready, let's get to your second 9 questions. I think you're just chomping at the bit to get going here, so let's do it. All right. All right. Calverton, let's do the let's get physical questions, starting with the 5-pointer. Boy, there's been so much news about vaccines lately. I know you've heard it. We're all excited about it. The new COVID vaccine proposed by the company called Pfizer must be kept at 70 degrees below 0 Celsius. Boy, is that cold. To achieve that, scientists are using dry ice, which is what chemical? It is what gas that has been frozen? Dry ice.
Okay,
Kayla, I think I know what it is. I think it's water vapor that's frozen, but it's put close to a molecular level, however it's called. Atom
because
level.
when you put dry ice on hot water, it will start smoking unlike normal ice.
Everyone's talking about water there. You know, if you've ever seen ice cream sandwiches. They store them and there's like a block of something and you can see steam coming off. That's dry ice, and dry ice is actually frozen carbon dioxide. Frozen carbon dioxide is what it is. Try this next one. You know, some of you in your homes have gas heat. Some of you have electrical heat. If there's a gas leak, you can smell mercaptan. It smells like rotten cabbage because the people who deliver the gas put that in there just to let you know that there might be a leak because natural gas has no odor. Mercaptan has a chemical formula CH3SH, where S is what chemical element? S is the symbol for what chemical element that does have a smell to it?
Carbon. Kayla, I think it's carbon.
Carbon starts with C.
Starts with an S.
Carbon starts with C. I was like thinking it was kind of like some type of like kind of like I think I smell in it because if it's because he said like it has like
if
it has a smell in it.
Periodic table, you know, all those elements are up there. H for hydrogen, O for oxygen. S stands for sulfur. Sulfur. You know, sulfur is what gives a rotten egg smell too.
Like sulfur dioxide. I forgot.
That's exactly right. Yeah. All right. You're thinking, you're going to get this one. I know you're going to get this one. 25 points, because you get the big ones. 25 points in Let's Get Physical. The planets with the most moons, the two planets with the most moons are Jupiter and Uranus. The planets with the least number of moons are these two. So you got 8 planets because they kicked out Pluto. We already can, that's right, gone, Chris. Jupiter and Uranus have the most moons, but what 2 planets in the solar system have the least number of moons?
So I think it's with the least because it has to be closer to the sun because like Jupiter and Pluto, not Pluto.
Remember, Kayla, we're the 3rd planet in the solar system.
Yeah, really.
I think the first planet and our planet.
Yeah, I feel like it's also Mars too because Mars is very hot. And it's like closest to the sun, and also like the more closer you are to the sun, the most likely you're not gonna have like a lot of darkness because the sun is very bright.
First, you guys are coming up with some ideas here, so I need the name of 2 planets from my captain, Kayla. Kayla, what are your 2 planets?
I think we're going with Earth and Mars.
You know, you had your first inclination was right. Closest to the sun, that's where you find the least number of moons because Mercury and Venus have no moons at all. We have 1, Mars has 2. All right, let's go to potpourri. Potpourri for 5 points. The inside of your kidney is divided into 7 sections. Each section has what same triangular shape as these huge triangular shaped ancient wonders of the world that you find even today in the desert in Egypt.
Pyramids?
Yeah,
Pyramids. That's it. Pyramids for 5 points. That's what I want to hear.
Say that.
Potpourri for 15 points. There's an author by the name of Isaac Asimov, and he writes books like I, Robot, which are about science, but they're made up. They're imaginative stories.
Like Frankenstein.
Like Frankenstein. So you wouldn't call those science books, you would call them science what books, since they're made up?
Science
fiction.
Yeah,
science fiction. That's it for 15 points. You got it. 25 points. The big one in potpourri is a picture. I'm going to show you this picture. Wow, you might recognize those as platypuses. You know those odd animals that live in Australia that have the beak like a duck and they have a body like an otter? They're kind of strange animals. Well, scientists have found that if you shine a black light onto a platypus, this is what happens. It fluoresces. It reflects light, which is different, though, from what a firefly does. A firefly doesn't reflect light. It makes its own light through what L-initialed process. So, again, we're looking for an L-initialed word to describe how fireflies make their own light. Because those platypuses, they simply reflect light. They simply fluoresce.
I studied about fireflies, but I forgot.
Oh, Kayla's there. She said, oh, I know it. I know it's on the tip of my tongue. You've probably heard of bioluminescence. Luminescence, they luminesce. They produce their own light. That was the correct answer there. Let's go to Dateline for 5 points.
All right.
You know, some of you might have heard of Coco the gorilla. He famously learned 450 words using this famous means of communication used by people who are deaf.
May you repeat the question?
Yes. People who are deaf communicate like this. What is that called?
Sign language.
Sign language, yes. They taught Coco the gorilla sign language, and he learned 450 words. It was an amazing study. Let's go to the 15-point question, and it is another picture. Look at the picture, please, that we're going to bring up for you. Some of you know that we just sent American astronauts to the International Space Station. First time we sent Americans into space since 2011, because we were relying on the Russians. It was a big deal. That capsule that took those astronauts to the International Space Station was named for this bird, the peregrine version of this bird, that is the fastest bird on Earth.
Okay, it's blue, so I know no.
Kayla, I think it's a polio project.
Remember, we need the name of that bird. It's a kind of bird. You know, they're like bald eagles and golden eagles. This one is known as the peregrine what?
Peregrine falcon? Kayla? Peregrine falcon?
Yeah, we're going to go with Chris.
That's it. Peregrine falcon. That gets you those 15 points. All right, Chris, I knew you could pull that out there for me. All right, 25-point, last one of the game, Dateline. You know, you've been following the hurricane season. We ran out of names. There was no more Hurricane Christopher or Hurricane Zelda. We had to go, or Hurricane Caitlin. We had to go to the Greek alphabet because we ran out of our alphabet, all 26 letters, even though we don't use all 26.
Oof.
I'm going to give you 25 points. If you can give me the 5th letter in the Greek alphabet, there was a hurricane name for it. It begins with the letter E.
I studied about Greek letters, but I forgot.
Greek letters of the alphabet. If you can give me the 5th one, because all the first 4 also, they all became hurricanes. The 5th one was Hurricane what? It began with an E.
Eric.
Eric was great. That is a regular name. That's not a Greek name, but that's a good one. Nice going, Chris. It is called Epsilon. Epsilon was the name there. All right, that brings you to the end of the game. You're still smiling. That's great because I hope you had fun. Did you have fun today?
Yep, a lot.
Good, all right. Well, hang tight because Templeton's got to come back here. We'll see who wins this game. Good second round, though. You end the game with 175 points. Pat yourselves on the back. And we welcome back the team from Templeton. And before we ask them their last 9 questions, let's find out about our players. Let's go to Captain Simon. Simon, why did you want to be on this show?
Because I was kind of boring being in normal school, and I get to skip a lot of classes while I'm doing it. And it's really funner than the other classes. So
Oh, that's great, great. Tell me, have you thought about a job yet? I know you're very young yet. Do you have a career in mind?
I would like to go to space, but I know it's going to be hard because I'm going to have to study physics and all that. But I think this might help with other stuff. It's kind of boring here anyway. So.
Okay. Again, I'm going to have to ask you maybe to sit a little stiller and come nice and close to that microphone because it's real hard to hear you. Say for us one more time what kind of job you're thinking about.
I would like to go to space, so I would be an astronaut. So that'd be kind of cool. And also, it would be kind of cool to go to a different planet or just go in space regularly, like not go to a planet. But it would just be really cool to do that.
It'd be really cool. In fact, we just went back to the International Space Station, we Americans, on our own rocket for the first time in 9 years. So, you know, and then we want to go to Mars. You're young enough, you may be going to Mars someday. How about that? Pretty cool stuff. Keep your dream. Let's go and talk to some of your teammates here. Let's talk to David. David, tell us about yourself. Tell us, have you always thought about being on this show? Because I know you've watched it before. Is this kind of like a dream come true? Are you checking this off on your list of things you always wanted to do?
Yeah, I really like seeing the other episodes or other challenges. And I cannot believe that I'm actually here right now.
Well, you're playing so well. How do you know so much science, Dave?
We've watched recent games or past ones, and Miss Lynch, our coach, is a really good coach, and she was teaching us all that we can know to be on this challenge. Or
That's wonderful. And Dave, again, like I was telling your Captain Simon, I don't know how far away you are from your laptop there, but it's getting a little hard to hear you. So if you can get a little closer there, I think that would help once we get into the game. Yeah, that's it. I'm making so many demands on you. Yeah, he wants me to get more light. He wants me to get closer. I just want to think about science. You're doing a nice job. Let's talk to Ugoma. Ugoma, boy, you have done such a great job here. It seems like you have been studying and preparing for this for a long time. Am I right?
Yeah.
I can't hear you. Say it again.
I actually was practicing for a long time.
Very good, very good. Yes, and again, sometimes hard to hear you guys, so just closer you are to your microphone, the better it is. Have you thought about a job yet? Maybe when you get older?
When I get older, I actually want to be a doctor because I like to help people, and I actually like doing the body systems.
And you did so well in that body systems category, and that's a very noble endeavor because, you know, one of the reasons we're here on Earth is to help other people. And it makes society better, and it's the only way things work. So I applaud what you're doing, and keep up your good work. And you're playing a really nice game. And if you're ready, let's play the second half. Simon, are you with us? Yeah, okay. All right, you've done green things, zoo parade, and body systems. It's now time for, let's get physical. Here we go, 5 points. The state of Oregon, which is out west, was shocked recently when one of these weather phenomena, which is rated on the Fujita scale and is very rare in the Pacific Northwest, struck the state. A kind of weather phenomenon that is very rare out west, that attacked that state, that occurred in that state, a weather phenomenon that is rated on the Fujita scale. What you think?
I don't know. So guys, probably. Well, no, hurricanes are pretty common. Well, actually, no, it's usually tornadoes that are the common one.
It's probably a tornado.
Well, tornadoes are way more common in the West, to be honest.
No, I think tornadoes are more common in like the central part of the USA.
Oh, yeah.
So a tornado struck.
Okay, Simon, what is it?
Okay, well, we're going with tornado.
It is tornado, absolutely right, on the Fujita scale, and the Saffir-Simpson scale is the one that rates the hurricanes. Good group think. All right, let's go to physical for 15 points. The leeward side of a mountain range, L-E-E-W-A-R-D, the leeward side of a mountain range is always dry. It is said to be in a rain shadow. The wet side of a mountain is known as this side, the side where the rain comes in off the ocean and the clouds rise up and it's very wet on that side. What do we call the wet side of a mountain? The opposite of leeward.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. The leeward side of a mountain range, always dry, is said to be in the rain shadow. The wet side of the mountain, where it does rain, is known as this side, the opposite of leeward. And for those of you that know geography, there are islands in the Caribbean. There are the Leeward Islands, and then there are these islands, the opposite of leeward. That's a tough question. Correct answer is windward. Windward. The wind comes on that side. Sorry, Ugoma, you were just a second late there. Let's go to the 25-point question, and let's get physical. Because light travels at 186,000 miles per second, while sound only travels at 1,090 feet per second, you can tell how far away a storm is by counting the number of seconds between what two events, then dividing by 5.
Okay.
Probably lay in bed at night sometimes as a storm is approaching and do this yourself. What two events? If you count the number of seconds between them and divide by 5, let you know how far away that storm is. What two things?
I think it's thunder and lightning.
Yep, thunder and lightning. You got it. Simon, you earned your stripes there as the captain. Good job. 25. Let's go to potpourri. For 5 points, at Thanksgiving and at Christmas, remember this. Don't let your dog eat even a small bit of pumpkin pie, since it could lead to inflammation of this endocrine organ known for controlling sugar levels in your body and your dog's body. It contains a hormone called insulin. Name that organ.
So, like, I'm kind of clueless here again. So, like, what do you guys think about this one?
I think it's probably your livers, but I'm not sure if your liver is actually
Pancreas. Pancreas.
Ugoma, she got it. She's our medical doctor in residence here. She said it is the pancreas. She is absolutely right. Guys, you owe her a pizza. Good work there, young lady. Good. It was indeed pancreas. Let's go to the 15-point question. It is a visual question for you in potpourri. You know, when you get to high school, you'll get a dissection kit if you take biology, and Ugoma is certainly going to get a dissection kit if she's going to be a doctor. And you know, you'll be dissecting a worm and a frog, maybe even a pig. And in that kit will be surgical scissors, a scalpel, and a pair of tweezers that are better known by what F-initialed name. That's what you see here, what F-initialed instrument that is sometimes called tweezers.
No, I don't really know a lot about surgery stuff, but like
Starts with an F.
It's called the forceps. Forceps. F-O-R-C-E-P-S. All right, let's go to your 25-point question in potpourri. A French woman recently set a free dive record. These are people who dive without scuba tanks. She went down 114 feet for 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Held her breath that whole time. She came back up to the surface and she avoided a condition known as nitrogen narcosis, where you get bubbles of nitrogen forming in your blood. It can be deadly. It's better known by what 5-letter word that begins with the letter B. If you come to the surface too quickly, Ugoma. Correct answer is the bends, B-E-N-D-S, because it causes you to double over. It is very serious. This is why most divers come up very slowly. They have to slow their ascent so that those bubbles don't develop. All right, let's move on now to the Dateline category for you. 5 points. Among the first animals in space, way back in the 1960s, were Laika, L-A-I-K-A, and Enos, E-N-O-S. Laika was a dog. Enos was a what? What animal?
Like, it should be like something like maybe like an ape.
Cat.
Probably a cat. Like,
Yeah, probably a cat or an ape.
All right. Simon, you choose.
Well, I don't know why they would put a cat and a dog in space, since like they're two completely like your things, but like I think we should go with ape.
It is ape. Yes, it was in fact a chimp. All right. Whoa, you came close to losing that one there, but I like how you all think. Here's your 15-point question. If you take the last 3 letters, E, M-E-V, from the man's name Mendeleev, the man who devised the periodic table, you'll be left with M-E-N-D-E-L, Mendel, the man who started the science of inheritance, otherwise known by this G initialed name.
Isn't it Mendel Gregor?
Well, no. That's like a guy. That's a guy who invented like the other stuff. But like
Gregor Mendel, the man who started the science of inheritance, a science otherwise known by this G initialed name. We're looking for genetics. We're looking for genetics. Last question in the game, 25-pointer in Dateline. It was Ernest Rutherford, a nuclear physicist, who discovered that radioactive uranium gives off 3 kinds of rays, which are named for the first 3 letters of the Greek alphabet. For 25 points, what are the first 3 letters of the Greek alphabet? Also used this year to name hurricanes, because we ran out of our regular alphabetical names. First 3 letters in the Greek alphabet will get you 25 points. Go.
so, I don't really know any Greek.
I think one of the Greek letters is beta. All I know. I don't know. Maybe Eta too.
Alpha, beta, gamma.
I'm hearing a couple good ideas out there. Come on, David, what did you say?
Alpha, beta, and gamma.
All right, we got alpha and beta. What's the third one?
Is it gamma?
Gamma it is, absolutely right. Alpha, beta, gamma means you get 205 points for your efforts today. I'd say you did really well, guys. We hope you enjoyed today's game. It was competitive. Did you see the energy of those young people? They couldn't wait to share what they knew today. We couldn't be prouder of all of them. Our final tally today, it was close. Calverton 175, Templeton 205, which means Calverton, you're going to be moving on. You're going to be in the playoff match today. I say we give a round of applause to that team from Templeton and that team from Calverton. You all played a beautiful game today. We have our alternates here from both teams. If you're an alternate from Calverton, would you wave to us, please? All of our alternates from Calverton. How about the alternates from Templeton? Templeton alternates are out there. And without these 2 people, it wouldn't happen today. Our 2 wonderful coaches, Ashley Richmond, Ashley from Calverton, and Mercy Lynch from Templeton. And we also have Vice Principal Pfeiffer from Templeton and Miss Leonardo from Templeton, who is the principal secretary, and she makes things happen there for sure. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you all for tuning into the Science Bowl. We hope to see you next time. Until then, I'm Dave Zarin. Bye-bye now.